Tao Overflows. What happens if a child is left uncorrupted? If a child is left uncorrupted, innocent by the ideas of the others up to the age of 7, then to distract him is almost impossible. And you cannot distract him from his potential growth. His insights will be unmatched. The child's first 7 years are most vulnerable, and they are in the hands of the parents, teachers, and priests. They can destroy the foundation or give them a sound foundation to build a beautiful temple like structure. However, in most of the cases, the opposite happens and life remains unfulfilled. How to save children from the parents, priests, teachers is a question of such enormous proportion that it seems almost impossible to find an answer. It is not a question of helping the child, instead, it is a question of protecting him. You are at the threshold. Parental conditionings have destroyed you. Now it is your responsibility to see this does not happen to your children. This will require great courage on part of you as a parent. Give the child a new beginning. Do not impose your unfulfilled desires on them. Instead, be courageous to give them a fresh beginning. Guide him to explore their own way. If you have a child, protect him from yourself, protect him from others who can influence him, protect him at least for 7 years. The child is just like a small plant, very weak and soft. Just a strong wind can destroy, so you create a protective fence around it. And when the plant is bigger, the fence will be removed. Protect the child from all kinds of influences so that he can remain himself. This is only a question of 7 years, because then first cycle is complete. By 7 years of age, he will be well grounded, centered, and strong enough to take care of himself. You do not know how strong a 7-year-old child can be because you have not yet seen an uncorrupted child. You have only seen the corrupted ones. They carry the fears, the cowardliness, and of their fathers and mothers, their family, but they are not themselves. You would be surprised to meet a 7-year-old child whose life has been uncorrupted for first 7 years. He would be as sharp as a sword, his eyes will be clear, and his insights will be crystal clear. And you will see a tremendous strength in him, which you cannot find even in a 70-year-old adult whose foundation was shaky. And in fact, if the foundation is shaky, higher you go on the structure, it will become shakier and shakier. So you will see that the older the person becomes, the more afraid he is. When the first 7 years of the child is not allowed spontaneity, then the next 7 years will emerge out of that foundation. Child will grow as rebellious. He will revolt against everything. Earlier he could not resist because he was helpless and vulnerable. However, in the next cycle of 7 years, he is capable of resisting everything. Conflict arises between parents and the child, and it grows. Deep within, he cannot forgive his parents and blames the parents for all the chaos in his life. Because of the conflict, the child as a teenager wants to take his own decisions. In the absence of experience and revolt, the life becomes chaotic and miserable. In the growth, these two cycles, 0 to 7 and 7 to 14, are most important. In the first cycle, the foundation of chaotic life has been laid. Often it is heard parents, seeing the rebellious nature of the child, say, "If I had known you will come out so, I better not have you." Similar statements are made by almost all the parents. Such comments destroy the foundation of the child, thus is laid the foundation for life. During the next 7 year cycle, the structure of chaotic life starts building, foundation for which was laid in the first 7 years, and this will continue for the rest of the life. Therefore, for 7 years are most important. The upbringing during this period lays the foundation for the life ahead. Out of revolt after puberty, your life begins, and sometimes even before that. And one day you suddenly realize that you are pregnant, and now you do not know how to bring a new life into the world or how to take care. You do not find anyone who you can trust and lean for support. As a parent, it will be, and you need enough courage not to interfere. Open the doors of unknown directions for the child so he can explore. He does not know what he has in him, and for that matter, nobody knows. He has to grope in dark. Don't make him afraid of darkness. Don't make him afraid of your failures. And don't make him afraid of the unknown either. Give him support. When he is going on an unknown journey, send him with your support, love, courage, and blessings. Do not let him be affected by your fears. You may have fears, but you keep it up to you. Do not unload those fears on the child, because that will be interfering with his natural growth and his spontaneity. You have to make sure what has happened to you does not happen to your children. After 7 years, the next cycle from 7 to 14 is a new beginning, new addition to life. The child's first stringing of the sexual energies, but they are only a kind of rehearsal. You enter this cycle out of revolt against the parents. To be a parent is a difficult job, so unless you are ready to take the difficult job, do not become a parent. People simply go on becoming fathers and mothers, not knowing what they are going to do. You are bringing a new life into the world. All the care in the world is needed for that. Now, when the child starts playing his sexual rehearsals, this is the time when parents interfere the most. It is because they have been interfered with. All that they know is what they are doing to their children. So simply go on doing that to their children. Societies do not allow sexual rehearsals, at least up to now. Those second 7 years cycle is significant as far as rehearsal is concerned. As a rehearsal to meet, mix, play, and become acquainted with one another is most important. And that will help humanity to drop 90% of perversions that we see all around. Because the rehearsal is missing, foreplay is missing in the actual sex, the foreplay is most important. More important than the actual sexual contact. Actual sexual contact lasts only for seconds. It is not nourishment. It simply leaves you in limbo. You were hoping for much and nothing comes out of it. After all efforts, going to movies, going to disco, going to the restaurants and talking all kind of nonsense, which neither you want nor the other. Both are talking. It is like digging the mountain and in the end finds a rat. Certainly you will look around you, you will find 1,001 things that are better than sex. Sex is just a rat. And that too, after so much huffing and puffing, so much perspiration, in the end both feels cheated. The reason is that you do not know the art of sex. You only know the middle part. as if you have seen a few seconds in the middle of a film. Naturally, you cannot make any sense of it. The beginning is missed, the end is missed. Only you saw in the interval where there was nothing. Man feels ashamed after sex. He turns over and goes to sleep. Simply, he cannot face the woman. He turns out on his side and goes to sleep because he is feeling ashamed. The woman weeps and cries because this is not what she was expecting. But this is all the sad story. Then what is this whole drama all about? But the reason is that the rehearsal part of your life has been cancelled by the society and parents. You do not know what foreplay is. Foreplay is really the most satisfying part in sex. Foreplay is more loving. Sex is simply a biological climax. But climax for what? You have missed everything that could make it a climax. You do not think suddenly to reach the climax. Missing all the rungs of the ladder, you want to move up the ladder. You have to go through all the rungs step by step to reach the climax. But everybody wants just the climax. Now the foolish psychoanalysts and their kind have put an idea of orgasm in human mind. Orgasm is even higher state than climax. It needs much more than climax. People are missing the climax, therefore their sexual life is nothing else but a kind of a relief. Yes, for a moment you feel relieved or a burden. It is like a good sneeze. And how long you can feel good afterwards this sneeze has happened. How long but how many seconds? Not more than few minutes. As the sneeze is gone, with that all the joy goes also. It was simply something bothering you and you are finished with that botheration. There is a slight relaxation. That is what sexual life for most of the people is. Some energy is bothering you and making you heavy, so you go, it is turning out into a headache. Sex gives you a relief. But the way children are brought up, almost they are like butchers in their life. Girls and boys should be together in many ways. They should rehearse for the life which is going to come ahead. They have to get ready for that. You are living in a very strange world. You are born out of sex. You live for sex. Your children are born out of sex. And sex is the most condemned thing in the world and a greater sin. All the religions go on putting this crap in your mind. They have made you almost a brown bag. It is really shocking to see how a man looks inside when a postmortem is done. And this is only the body. And if you see the postmortem of the mind, you will forget, you will be even more shocked compared to that poor body. That is nothing. Your mind is a kind of a crap. For that matter, your mind is full of crap, courtesy your parents, priests, an entire process of upbringing. This process will continue when I take the next session. A spontaneous and natural upbringing is bliss, when I will explain all the other 7-year cycles, the 14 to 21, 21, 28, 28, 35, 35, 42, 42, 49, 49, 56, 56, 56, 63, 63, 70, and thus completes the life. Enough for today.